Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. I'm going to do your daily mini message for you today, mini reading. I'm using something I haven't used before, the Whispering Woods, enchanting secrets from the forest, it says. And as forests are very much a beautiful analogy about how everything is connected, how young trees help old trees, how there is a communication system there, that it is supportive, then I trust that these messages today, whatever message comes out for you, will be that supportive message that you need if this reading is going to resonate for you. Thank you, Spirit. If it does resonate, you are simply knowing and remembering, learning what you need to know in divine timing for you. And if it doesn't resonate, it simply means it was not for you at this time. There'll always be a reading out there for you, darling, at exactly the right time as guided by Spirit. Thank you as ever for your wonderful comments, your likes, your subscribes, your shares. I am so grateful. It is a gorgeous exchange of energy between us. And if you would like a personal reading with me, all of the details are in the description box below. So let's see what wants to come out for you. Thank you, Spirit. What do you want to say today for those that most need to hear it? Flow, one of the words I use a lot. Go with the flow as water does down a river. Do not hurry. Thank you. Is there anything else? One other one. Thank you. And caution, tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor. So what I'm feeling, flow and caution. Okay, so this situation and resilient, stay as strong as evergreen trees. So I'm going to talk about the flow first of all and the caution. Let me just show you these cards. Flow, go with the flow as water does down a river. Do not hurry. And then caution, tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor. And resilient, stay as strong as evergreen trees. So I'm going to put the resilient to one side for a second and focus on the flow and on the word on caution. What Spirit is asking you to do at this time is to treat whatever it is you've come to the reading for, whatever that you are beginning to may resonate with this reading, with great delicacy, with great care, with a degree of what is that expression, Spirit, where you hold it with kid gloves. So this is not a situation for you to rush in. It is not a situation for you to, if you look at the analogy of the tortoise and the hare, this is a slow and steady approach to this situation for you at the moment. Tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor, because if you rush in, you're going to upset the balance of what is a very delicate balance. Just like if you were rushing in the woodland and you scare off a lot of the wildlife and you might disturb nests, bird nests and things. So it upsets the natural balance of things. And it is about respectfully and delicately handling this situation with the understanding that you may not be able to see all there is at this time. Just like if we're in the woodland, we can't see everything. We can get a sense of it. We can get a feel for it, but we don't get a sense and feel for it if we're rushing through it, do we? We don't get to appreciate it. And that's why it's about don't hurry to try and make sense of this situation or try and force something to happen. If we go for a walk in the woodlands, we tend to meander, we tend to stroll, we tend to observe, we tend to stop, we tend to listen, we tend to admire what is there. So this is a pause time for you, Spirit is saying, to do just that. And treading softly, it's about being quiet. It's about being in the stillness. It's about understanding that if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. These are the messages that I'm receiving. It is about having that openness and that trust that the answers will come to you if you ask for them. If you thank the universe, you thank Spirit, you thank your soul for giving you the direction that you need to walk this path in this woodland with a sense of peace and no fear for what's around that next corner, actually, and excitement about what's around the next corner as well. So that is the kind of, that I would consider to be the overall message for this, because it's bang in the center of the reading, and it is a caution card. So if you were thinking of doing something and this reading has resonated, and you were thinking of taking a certain approach which might be forcing your will onto something, do stop. And if this is resonating, do be very honest with yourself. Do look at this. Do not necessarily analyze it, but do take that step back and be honest with yourself whether you're trying to make something happen. And if it's not happening, then perhaps a different approach is needed, and one that is a very gentle approach. And because you've got the flow card here as well, go with the flow as water does down a river. Do not hurry. There is no rush in nature, is there? And water, representing emotions, constantly shifting and changing all of the time. And it is a reminder for us as well about going with the flow. When we rush something, we don't necessarily win the race, do we? Like the tortoise and the hare. And when we rush, we miss things as well. So I come back to, you know, treading softly and carefully. Spirit doesn't want you to miss anything. Doesn't want you to miss what is there waiting for you. Ask and you will find, seek and you will find, knock on the door, it'll be open for you. Go with the flow, act in accordance with the way that things exist at the moment, and try not to impose your will onto something. You know, one of the great myths that we have being given as human beings is that we are separate from everything. We are something within this body, but it is not connected to everything else. And that sense of separateness, that sense of identity that we have created because of that, it is created within us a certain defense system against what is external. And that a lot of the time makes us feel lost and fearful, unhappy, confused about where we are. And because we've been taught that we only exist in here. But perhaps what is happening for you right now, and as I read, I receive all the time, is to teach us, to help us remember that actually we are all part of all that is. We are the omniverse, the universe, all there is experiencing itself, all there is arranged in a beautiful metrical rhythm. And there are certain laws of the universe, and nature follows those laws of the universe to the letter, to the T, all the time. There is no question of it doing anything else other than that. And we have that radical acceptance of that, don't we? But we don't seem to have it of ourselves. We don't seem to have it of where we are in situations in our life. And we've been taught and conditioned that we have to force things to happen. We have to make things happen. You know, we have to work incredibly hard to make things happen. But actually, if we are flow with what is happening, and actually we take a step back and say, this is outside of my control, so therefore I'm just going to go with the flow of it to see what might happen, to see what will happen, the universe's will, if I don't impose my will. So give this moment a chance. Go with the flow as water does down a river. It always finds a way, and it always finds the shortest way. But if you're battling upstream or trying to go another way, you're only exhausting yourself. And when we try and control something, we are emotionally giving it all of this energy, and it is exhausting for us. Spirit doesn't want you to hurry at the moment, because you're going to miss something. And in this space where you are right now, with flow and caution, with the not knowing as well, give thanks to yourself for taking your foot off the pedal, of taking that step back and saying, I trust and I have faith that this situation will evolve, it will resolve and evolve the way that it's meant to. And give thanks for kind of where you are, even if you don't know why you are where you are right now, because that in effect is having faith that you will receive the answers, and that you are trusting that everything is unfolding for you at this time. And then you've got this resilient card, stay as strong as evergreen trees. So if you feel at this time that you are being pushed to go more than with the flow, that you're being pushed to rush through and not be cautious about taking the next steps forward, Spirit wants you to stand strong in your space of, no, actually, I want to do this at a different pace. So that is for those with resilience, stay as strong as evergreen trees. It is about understanding that there is a lot of wisdom to be gained from the older trees. There is a lot of wisdom, sorry about my dog snoring, there's a lot of wisdom to be gained from the network of people around you. And there's a lot of wisdom also that you can give, and by showing the way that your approach for doing this is. So stay as strong as evergreen trees. And evergreen is to show that everything is eternal. Everything is always of a cyclic nature. And there is always, trees provide so much for nature. There is always, and there are so many different uses for evergreen trees. There are so many different uses and opportunities and things that are happening for you at this time. So stay strong. I am going to pull one more card for you. In fact, we're going to stick with the same deck. Thank you. You are incredibly strong. It says stay as strong. So you are being very strong at the moment and very courageous. And it takes a great deal of strength to go with the flow, to not impose your will. You know, we are, if you think about water, we are, if water is us and our emotions and our energy, and we are all that is. And then you look at the ocean being all that is, representative of the universe. There is no different between the drop of water and the ocean itself. It is one and the same. It's part of it. And it's about going with the flow, just like the wave is part of the ocean as well. Music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the forest if only we listen. All there is arranged in a rhythmical pattern, the omniverse. If Spirit is confirming what I've just said. So, and you know what? When we play music, we are choosing notes to play, aren't we? We choose the notes to play, but then there are notes that we're not playing. So perhaps in what you are doing that is making a certain vibration, a resonance in your life, a certain movement in your life, perhaps Spirit is wanting you to look at the notes that you're not picking, the other side of it. What is the other perspective of this? To look at that, to be willing to look at those options and choices that you haven't chosen. And in between, we couldn't have music, could we, unless we had silence in between. So Spirit is saying, no rushing. There is a rhythm to this. Listen to what comes to you in the silence. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest part of the woods, only if we listen. Perhaps for many of you who do sit in stillness and do meditate, Spirit is saying to you here, perhaps if you were to listen to some music while you are sitting in stillness and meditating, whatever music resonates with you, there may be a message there for you at that point of time, because whatever you hear or see or learn or are told that it resonates with you, that is the universe having a conversation with you. That is God, the universe, speaking through that person or through that experience or through that animal, through that music, through that film, speaking to you, my darling. And the melody, a melody is something that is harmonious, something that is lovely to listen to, something that is more than pleasant. It is something that makes you feel at peace, and it's something that has a very connected rhythm to it. So what is happening here in the deepest part of this situation, if you can't see the wood for the trees, there is a rhythm and a reason for it. And Spirit wants you to stop and to listen and to ask, because it is in the asking that you receive. It is in the seeking that you will find. And there is something the universe, God, wants to give you. There is somewhere the universe, God, wants to take you. And if you are trying to rush, you're going to miss it, my darling. So that is the main message for you today. I hope that has helped those that this reading has resonated with. It was very interesting to use those cards. And I've just been given a last message, like whispers on the wind. That faint, or sometimes strong voice that you hear that comes up through you, that resonates, that is the whisper of the universe. Listen, because it never interferes. It will speak quietly to you. The whispering woods. There is always something that is being given to you as a message at all times. And sometimes it can be quite difficult to hear if we're all being very loud and noisy and rushing. So you have to be still and quiet in order to hear that faint whisper that's coming through, the whispering woods. What a beautiful, beautiful deck this is. So thank you, my darlings, for listening. And I look forward to doing another reading for you tomorrow. And Scorpio, I will be doing your reading for you tomorrow, your summer reading for you tomorrow. In the meantime, take great care and lots of love. Bye-bye.